If the sales figures of Google's Pixel phones are any indication, then the company has barely made any dent in the market. But that's besides the point, because for Google, the Pixel series of phones is not a showcase of its hardware acumen. Instead, the Pixel is Google's attempt at further augmenting its software supremacy. I've been using the Pixel 3 XL since launch day, and I'm finally convinced that Google is headed in the right direction as far as Pixel phones are concerned. Hi, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and this is our full review of the Pixel 3 XL. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mr. Phone puts out an awesome new tech video. The Pixel 3 XL's design is no head turner. The two-tone finish has been carried forward from the previous phone, but the differentiating factor is the use of glass for the very first time on the rear. This enables wireless charging, which is definitely a major advantage. In fact, Google has a new Pixel stand accessory with wireless charging support. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to test it out, although I can confirm that wireless charging is present on the phone. I tried a Samsung wireless charger that was lying around with the Pixel 3 XL, and it worked. The two-tone finish on our white unit feels soft and dreamy, for the lack of a better word, in the hand. Now, the phone may not be a looker, but there is no denying that it feels undoubtedly premium, thanks mainly to the soft touch matte finish. The smooth transition from the new matte finish on the rear to the actual glass is very clean and minimalistic. The glass on the front and the rear is protected by a metal railing with a glossy finish. It is also painted in white. At 7.9mm thickness, the phone feels fairly slim. Couple that with the 184-gram weight of the phone, you've got a comfortable big phone in your hand. I know, that sounds like an oxymoron. In fact, during my review period of using the Pixel 3 XL, I had the iPhone XS Max in my pocket all the time. And you know what? It feels a lot chunkier and heavier than the Pixel 3 XL. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, primarily because the iPhone XS Max feels a lot more premium as a result. Also, I saw more than a couple of reports which shows that the black variant scratches easily, and it is clearly visible too. I haven't seen or used the black variant, so I can't corroborate that claim. While I did review the white variant of the Pixel 3 XL, the cheekily named not pink variant is the one that looks different and unique. On the rear, you also get the camera module that juts out slightly. The fingerprint scanner is at an easy to reach convenient location. And since there is no face unlock, no, not even in Android's smart unlock subsetting, you will have to live with the fingerprint scanner. And it is not necessarily a drawback because the scanner is extremely fast to unlock your phone. I had no trouble whatsoever. Moreover, the fact that the Pixel 3 XL has IP68 certification for enhanced waterproofing should come in handy in situations where you drop the phone in water by mistake. The new mint-colored power button definitely gives it a distinctive, playful look thanks to the poppy color. However, both the volume rocker and the power button feel plasticky and don't feel very solid. I found the buttons to be mushy and soft. This is definitely not something that I expect from a flagship phone. You get a Type-C port at the bottom along with a single SIM tray. The phone also supports dual SIM mode via eSIM in certain countries, but I don't think it is available in India yet. That notch on the Pixel 3 XL is tall and ugly, no doubt, but it smiles at you. Jokes apart, the notch on the 6.3-inch display of the Pixel 3 XL is the tallest notch on a phone yet. The main reason for this notch to exist is the big earpiece that doubles up as a speaker, and you also have a new wide-angle camera as well. Google has promised an update in the future that will let you turn off the notch, but you have a workaround for now. You can choose the no cutout option in developer settings. With the notch turned off, the Pixel 3 XL basically looks like a Pixel 2 XL. I actually like the extra screen estate that you get with the notch though. With the notch, the only content that you will lose are the extra notification icons. But to be entirely honest, it looks a lot cleaner now. And most content, including apps and games, cut out the notch entirely. So I have no problem there really. Coming to the 6.3-inch OLED display, you now get a very good panel with the option to switch between adaptive, natural and boosted modes. The display is set to adaptive by default. If you are a stickler for the most accurate color reproduction, the natural mode with an accurate representation of the RGB space will appeal to you. If you like boosted colors, then the aptly named boosted mode will work for you. I noticed little to no color temperature shift on the display, which is great. In fact, the iPhone XS Max is a bigger offender when it comes to bad color shift. But yeah, the Pixel 3 XL's display cannot get as bright as the one on the iPhone XS Max or the Galaxy Note 9 for that matter. In fact, I'd firmly place the Pixel 3 XL's display in the third spot, right behind the Galaxy Note 9 and the iPhone XS Max. The Pixel 3 XL is undoubtedly the showcase hardware for Google's Android Pie operating system. Let me quickly break down what I like and what I don't like about Android Pie and the new Pixel launcher on the Pixel 3 XL. Let's start off with the stuff I like. The Google search bar is now placed at the bottom. That is definitely a great advantage. And the neatly rounded notification cards are a great design touch. The app notifications now show up in the recents page, and that is definitely an advantage as well. Also, the little stubs of apps that show up in the app drawer called App Actions is a kick-ass feature. My very active WhatsApp group and my frequently contacted Telegram chat, my wife, keep coming up there. I know this is not a software feature, but the vibration feedback on the new Pixel 3 is stunning. The phone gives you a subtle feedback even when you put the earpiece on your ear on an incoming call. It is subtle touches like this that makes for a premium experience. You will notice a similar vibration feedback when pulling down the notification shade or pulling up the recents menu. It is a really classy implementation of the vibration feedback engine. The new digital well-being feature, which is still in beta, is a hard ass. It can force you to cut down on your usage of addictive apps and is far more stringent at relinquishing control when compared to Apple's new screen time feature. It is like going cold turkey to control a drug addiction. As far as stuff I don't like about the Android Pie Pixel launcher update, I'm just going to list one thing here: the gesture navigation. The new gesture-based navigation in Android Pie is super cumbersome. You have to either do one long swipe to bring up the app drawer or two short swipes, because the first short swipe brings up the recents page. That said, the pill-based gesture navigation to switch between apps is cool. Also, I want to report a small bug I encountered during my time with the phone. Apparently, this was also a problem with previous Pixel phones when I researched the problem. My screen would go completely black and unresponsive after a call. I did find a fix online. I had to actually switch off the camera permissions in the phone app. No idea what's the connection there, but it worked. Ideally, I shouldn't have to go through a workaround to fix a software bug on a phone, and I could have actually sensationalized it and made it into another hashtag gate, hashtag proximity gate. But I'm not going to do that because this problem can be easily fixed by a software update. Such small problems are not really worth making a hue and cry and a separate video about. Unbox therapy. The new call screen feature that is being rolled out in Faces should be a great feature once it hits the phone. Then there's the crazy intelligent duplex mode that's coming soon as well. The manner in which Google is integrating artificial intelligence across its software is actually revolutionizing the smartphone tech industry. Yes, we've come to the most awaited part of the review, the cameras on the Pixel 3 XL. And you know what? We already have a full comparison of the Pixel 3 XL's cameras against the iPhone XS Max and last year's Pixel 2, a link to which should be in a card here somewhere. To cut the long story short, the Pixel 3 XL has the best smartphone cameras overall on any smartphone that we've used till date. For those who don't want to watch the video, let me make a short summary for you guys. The redesigned camera app is super easy to use, and now you have the pill-based navigation to actually switch between modes. Also, you now have RAW support with the app. Unfortunately, you still don't have a manual mode, and it is a shame for a phone with the best camera performance yet. The sensor and the algorithm offer improved details and clarity. The color science, as usual, favors the brown and yellow tones, making the overall image look warm. The selfie camera offers stunning details. I'm pretty sure that I haven't seen such detailed selfies from any phone this year. The new wide-angle camera takes good selfies too, albeit with fixed focus. And that means you can end up not getting the right focus on certain subjects when taking a group selfie. The portrait mode algorithm is great, and it will get better over time thanks to all the machine learning. That said, I still think the edge detection on the iPhone XS Max and the blur is a tad better too. PS, you can now change the depth effect in the edit feature in the Photos app. The low light images look great to say the least. But for some odd reason, the Pixel 3 XL tends to choose lower ISOs and therefore ends up underexposing the images. I can't wait for the new night sight mode update to reach the camera soon. The HDR performance is phenomenal as usual. The new top shot feature is pretty damn useful, especially when you are shooting moving objects. You can easily retrieve shots with the right focus if you miss it by mistake. In most cases, the Photos app generally recommends a great shot. The newly rebranded Playground mode is a fun way to add AR stickers to your photos and videos. It is a novel idea that makes full use of the upgraded Pixel core on the new Pixel 3 XL. I'm also a fan of the new Super S zoom mode. At close to 2x optical zoom distance, you really cannot tell the difference between the digital zoom on the Pixel 3 XL and the optical zoom on the iPhone XS Max. It is that good. I'm sure I'm going to use it more often. The photo booth mode is the only gimmicky addition in an otherwise great camera app. The Pixel 3 XL can now shoot crisp and stable 4K 30fps video. However, the best part is that it can record stereo audio now. That said, the quality of stereo audio is not as good as the iPhone XS Max, that's for sure. The front camera has image stabilization in videos as well, which is great for vlogging. The 3 XL, it is shooting at 1080p 60 fps. Do let us know in the comment section below what you thought of the video quality and the sound quality as well. Trust me, once you use the Pixel 3 XL's camera, there is no looking back. In fact, the images captured by the Pixel 3 XL will fool a lot of people into believing that you captured it with a DSLR instead. The Pixel 3 XL, like most flagships in 2018, has a Snapdragon 845 system on chip. Although the 4 gigs of RAM on the phone might seem too low for a flagship phone, trust me, it doesn't matter. The Pixel 3 XL is one of the fastest phones I've used in recent times. Be rest assured you're going to get extremely smooth performance through and through. Having said that, Google's RAM management is aggressive and it will reload big apps after a little while. Although I don't understand why anyone would want so many apps to be in memory for so long. Well, weird things people like. I ran a few benchmark tests because it is fun to check the metrics out. I got an Antutu score of around the 248,000 mark. This is lower than what I achieved on the Zenfone 5Z, OPPO F7 or the OnePlus 6. However, in the game bench test for PUBG, I achieved a peak of 60 FPS and an FPS stability of 98%, which is higher than any other phone that I've tested till date. In fact, playing PUBG on the Pixel 3 XL was so much fun thanks to the stupendously good oleophobic coating. That said, the phone does warm up a bit. After a 23-minute session inside a temperature-controlled room, the Pixel 3 XL reached 43 degrees. That is higher than phones like the POCO F1 or the OnePlus 6. The Pixel 3 XL, which I used for the most part of my review with an Airtel connection in Delhi, was pretty good with LTE and network as well. However, the breakout finding was the earpiece on this smartphone. It sounds crystal clear and crisp, and I had absolutely no call drops either. You know what, that actually makes me really happy that Google's engineers have actually worked on this seriously, because the primary purpose of a phone is to make a phone call in the first place. Oh, fun fact, it seems like HTC hasn't made the phone this year. This phone is actually made by Google's internal hardware team. The Pixel 3 XL's big display makes it great for multimedia performance, except for the notch, of course. It is the speakers that add multiple dimensions to your video watching experience. I had a blast watching a couple of episodes of The Chef's Table on the Pixel 3 XL while on my way to a meeting in a cab. Generally, I use headphones, but the speakers could get so loud that I had no trouble using the Pixel 3 XL's loudspeaker. As a matter of fact, I had to reduce the volume on many occasions lest it gets too loud. Oh. Having said that, the Pixel Buds inside the box with a lightning cable sound bad. As someone who wants a good sound from his headphones, I'd stash these back into the box and never get it out again. The bundled Type-C to 3.5mm dongle has a bad DAC too. I tried my FIO FH5 and it didn't even sound 60% as it would actually with a better DAC on a better phone. Honestly, Google really needs to fix the audio performance through headphones. It is a big letdown if you ask me. That said, the Pixel 3 XL supports a wide range of codecs, which includes LDAC, which is Sony's proprietary codec, and that is great for wireless audio. it actually feels like Google is shifting towards a more wireless audio future. The Pixel 3 XL comes with a fairly big 3430 mAh battery inside. This battery supports fast charging and the 18-watt charger inside the box comes in handy. I managed to charge the phone from 0 to 100% in 2 hours and 14 minutes on one occasion and 2 hours and 21 minutes on another. This is more like regular charging and not fast charging. I have a heavy phone usage pattern, and the first time I decided to log in my battery usage details, I got 4 hours and 58 minutes of screen on time. On the second test run, I switched off the always on ambient display setting and switched on the tap to wake and lift to wake feature, and the battery life improved drastically. I got a much higher screen on time of around 5 hours 48 minutes with 6% battery left. The battery life with adaptive battery on should definitely get better over a period of time as well. I have no complaints about the battery life on the Pixel 3 XL, honestly. You can easily squeeze one full day of heavy usage from the phone before you have to hit the charger. So that was my entire analysis of the Pixel 3 XL. I can say this with a fair amount of confidence that Google has hit the ball out of the park as far as the cameras are concerned. In fact, on just the performance of the cameras alone, this phone can actually be a recommendation for many users out there. Also, I didn't face any performance drops and the call quality was supreme as well. And most importantly, I'm glad that Google has actually worked on fixing the display issues from last year and made a display that is actually flagship grade. However, the hardware, despite feeling premium, doesn't look premium, and that's where phones like the Galaxy Note 9 and the iPhone XS Max take a lead. Also, here's an interesting tidbit that the folks at 9to5 Google found out. After actually making a transcript of the whole Google event, they found out that Google didn't make a mention of the word Android once in their event. Essentially, this signals a shift in Google's hardware mindset where it's subconsciously dissociating itself from the Android branding. Why? Because Android phones for the longest time have known to be cheaper alternatives to the iPhone. And therefore, you know what? Google with its Pixel phones doesn't want to be known as a brand that makes cheap smartphones. It wants to be the torchbearer of flagship smartphones. But the question here is, can Google actually demand a premium for its Pixel smartphones in this highly competitive smartphone race? Well, that's an answer that we'll have to wait to find out. And that is why the Rs 83,000 price tag for the base variant of the Pixel 3 XL doesn't feel really surprising, does it? In fact, it makes the Pixel 3 XL the most expensive Android smartphone in India. But for somebody who's willing to make a flagship smartphone purchase, should you be spending that kind of moolah on an Android phone? Absolutely yes, if you want the best camera performance out of any smartphone out there. But if you are willing to make a sacrifice in the camera quality, a very slight sacrifice, mind you, then the phones like iPhone XS Max and Samsung Galaxy Note 9 offer you far more compared to the Pixel 3 XL. So that was my full review of the Google Pixel 3 XL. Do let us know in the comment section below what you thought of our perspective. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Sayonara.